I was so astonished. I'm sitting there with my client, and the lender says, I'm not going to pay commission to any of you agents because I simply don't have money. Episode 1 of Real Estate is not all butterflies and rainbows. So I had this client, she was looking for a rental space for her business. So it was a commercial space, and we've been looking for a few months. It's really tough because her budget is limited, kind of, and she wants to be in a prime location in one of the most prestigious towns in New Jersey, like Westfield, Scotch Plains, Cranford, or Summit. I'm not going to tell you which one exactly, but we found a place and we visited that place a few times, at least 3 times. We talked to the owners, we negotiated different terms and conditions of the contract. She wanted to implement some changes into the structure of the unit, which, always involves a lot of work, plumbing permits, electrical permits, and stuff like that. So the owner finally agreed for her to change the color of the walls, change the floors throughout all the unit, and also possibly install a sink in one of the rooms that she was supposed to work in. Like I said, we went to that place 3 times, we negotiated with the owner, and finally the day came that the 4 of us actually got together, meaning the owner of the property, his agent, my client, and I. So we prepared the contract, the lease. She wanted to be in there for 5 years at least because she's trying to grow her business. And we got to the closing table, and then everything went downhill from there. So basically, first of all, they told us at the closing table that the owner is selling the property next year, which is going to actually not work for my client. If she's talking about building her business and she works in a heavily serviced industry. So once her client gets acquainted with the location and, the commute time to see her every month, for example, people get used to things. So she was like, oh no, you mentioned you're not going to sell this for like a few more years. So she was looking for a 5-year lease at least. And then although the owner agreed to all the modifications she came up with, she was not happy about that. But what really was mind-blowing at the closing table for this lease was the fact that when it came talking about the commission for the agents, first of all, the MLS said that the landlord pays commission for both agents. And then the landlord says to me, I'm not going to pay you because I simply don't have money. I'm like, what? You're not going to pay my broker because you don't have money, so why did you list the properties? By the way, he was supposed to get $100,000 from that 5-year lease from my client, and he owns and manages many other properties. So it shows you how sometimes people are just Mr. Scrooge or something. He said at the closing table, I'm not going to give you a check today because I don't have money. So immediately I contacted my broker, and fortunately for me, I work for KW. So somebody is always available. Our meeting was scheduled for 7 p.m. We started talking. So at 8 p.m. I reached out to my broker and I asked her what to do. I mean, we always have to think about our client's best interest. So I told the landlord, I told him, listen, you don't want to pay me. That's fine. My broker is going to take care of that later, according to what the MLS said. Now the most important thing for me is that my client can secure a nice rental space for her. So that's where it ended at. And then I talked to my broker later, and he told me that he would actually get the money by going to court, and that landlord would have to pay fines because that's not what the MLS said. The MLS specifically said that the landlord pays both commissions. So that's what it is. Anyway, we didn't close on that deal because one word led to another, and my client discovered more and more things that didn't make her comfortable with that landlord, and she decided not to sign the lease, and we just keep searching. However, this gets to tell you, we've known this landlord. We've met him 3 times. I negotiated with his broker, and mind you, when the landlord said that he's not going to pay our commissions, his agent was like, oh, I'm fine, you don't have to pay me, I'm okay with it. I'm like, what? No, you're not okay with this. You work for this and your broker needs to get paid. But what it turned out later, his broker, the landlord's agent, didn't care about getting a commission because it's a really small commission. It's not about the money here. But what it turns out, he would be the listing agent when the landlord puts the property on the market. And that's like a $2 million property. So that's why his agent, landlord's agent, he said, oh, no problem, you don't have to pay me. I don't know how his broker would react to that, but my broker was not okay with that. We do the job for our clients. We get paid, although this commission is not big. It doesn't matter. It's not about the money. It's about the rules.